Hello, the Old Man Orange podcast. I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
And Josh.
We're going back to 1986 with Sylvester Stallone's Cobra, a great action film just filled with probably the most macho-ness that Stallone has probably ever attempted to be. I'm not going to say is, but attempted to be. It's like, it's almost like when you go so far, like how far can we take this? We're going to go there and just see what happens, you know.
It's a feminist's worst dream. Worst nightmare.
And boom, here's like I got the 4K version of Cobra. Like it popped up and I was like one of those ones where I was like, fuck it, I'll take that. Why not? You know what I mean? It's like the DVD version I have is like kind of very old school where like it's kind of released, no bells and whistles, no special features. I don't even know if it's like enhanced for widescreen TVs. You know, one of those ones where Warner Bros. Just like, get it on out there. There you go. Go, be grateful, you son of a bitch.
Give it to the plebs. They'll enjoy it.
Yeah. What? Do you think they can make decisions of their own? No. They're just glad they got the flippy fold case, you know, that they'll have to mess with.
Right.
So this one was one of those ones where it's kind of cool. It had some extra special features on and so on. More just like ones where people just like talk about it. We're like, let's get this random other actor and tell him, you know, let's see what he thinks about it, you know. There's no like Stallone or Brigitte Nielsen on there.
Did it have, what the fuck's the dude's name? Something, Brian Thompson? The dude that plays the Night Stalker? Night Slasher? Wherever the fuck he is?
You know, I can't remember it had one that had him on there. It actually might have, to tell you the truth. I don't know.
The entire time watching it, I was like, I just saw this motherfucker. What movie was he in? He's Buffalo Bob and Joe Dirt.
Really? I didn't even think about that.
Dude, because I just watched Joe Dirt like a couple months ago, and the entire time watching him, where he's like, killed the woman. The woman's gotta die. I was like, I'm watching it and I'm like, I know this dude. Like I've seen him in a bunch of shit, but I just saw him in something recent and like, you know, like it was just like digging in my brain. And then when I finally looked it up and it was like, oh, he's Buffalo Bob? No wonder. I was like, I know this guy.
Well, it was like the other one too I was thinking of is the director George P. Cosmatos. I'm like, I know that name sounds so familiar. And then it's like, oh yeah, he did Rambo too. But I was like, I felt like something recently we watched he did Tombstone. So, you know, yeah, right. It's kind of a weird one. Like, you know, it's like, yeah, okay. I did. He's got like, some other movies on, you know, of course, his list too that I've never technically seen. There's one that sounds kind of interesting, Shadow Conspiracy with Charlie Sheen, Donald Sutherland. You know,
okay.
Like, but yeah, there's just a lot of like they all look interesting, but you know. Rambo and Cobra are right there back to back, you know. And Cobra's at like an interesting time because it's almost at like almost the pinnacle of Stallone right here. He just did Rocky IV, you know, Rambo 3 is going to be coming around next and so on like that. And this one almost feels like when you think of a poster of Stallone beyond just Rambo and Rocky, this one always like comes to mind, you know. I just think of like once again like it's
right.
such a badass fucking looking like one there like
Yeah. I mean, because I seen it a long time ago, and I hadn't seen Cobra since.
Yeah.
And you know, it's never been. I feel like Stallone, because he's so prolific with the shit he's made. You know what I mean? So like, I feel like when somebody says like, if I said, Spence, give me 5 Stallone movies, you know, we're gonna have some common ones. We're gonna have a Rocky in there. And like your 5 favorite, like the 5 I think of Stallone, this is the movies I would give you. There's going to be a Rocky. There's going to be a Rambo. There's probably going to be an Expendables because those movies are fucking fun. Anybody who says Expendables are not fun, like, do you hate happiness? Do you hate campy fun? Yeah, violent, like horrible violence.
Yeah.
So
first two.
Oh, all of them really. All of them except for this last one. But they're all fun. They're all fun in their own way. But I mean, like, those would be 3 common ones. But I would not put Cobra on my list. I would have, like, Over the Top or Tango and Cash, I think it is. The one where...
Kurt Russell?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite Stallone movies of all time because it's just like, you know, you wouldn't think of that for Stallone. But, you know, I would not... Yeah, I would maybe go with like Grudge Match, which I thought was a fun movie.
One too. That's like Rocky versus like Raging Bull.
Right, right. So it's like, Cobra was just not on my radar at all. Like I forget it even exists, to be completely honest.
Well, I kid you not. Like, this is one of those movies that, like, back in the day when I was searching to find, all the things that I had yet to watch and, really going out of my way to find things. Like, Cobra is one of those ones that I had on my list, and I was like, oh, I'm going to find this and so on. And there used to be this really cool music.
Oh, I got to throw in my toothpick. I don't have a
You know,
match, so.
oh, yeah.
Uh,
Get ready here. But there was a store that used to be in Sacramento back in the day, like so many cool stores. They don't exist anymore, but it used to be a sweet CD place, records, and then they also had movies and so on there. And I remember that was the first time I found a copy of Cobra. I was like, oh, hell yeah. And of course, it was just that really bare bones Warner Brothers release of it, And I remember I was pumped, and I was like, dude, I can't wait to go home and watch this and everything. And it's that one that I don't know, in my mind, like maybe just look at the cover, because sometimes all you have in life is a cover, and you're really building this movie off of that. I pictured Cobra was going to be more like Commando, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's actually kind of what I was thinking this movie was going to be. I'm like, oh, this is going to be Stallone's Commando. And the weird thing about the movie is it's like not really like a super, I mean, it's got action in it, and it's got, a bit of it. I'm not saying it doesn't have it. It's almost more like a crime thriller movie, first and foremost, that just happens to have a little bit more action than a normal crime thriller horror movie almost would have.
right. The cover for Cobra gives me Escape from New York vibes, and I just had to look it up. I was like, Escape from New York, I was pretty sure it's like early 80s,
81,
which it is. It's 81. Yeah. So, like, like basically just his weapon is like kind of got this Snake Plissken vibe in his like outfit, I'm a bad guy, I'm a man's man.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. It's weird. Like when you look at the cover of Cobra or you think of it, and then you start watching the film, or even just when you take the whole film in its entirety, like it's got really good suspense horror moments in it. Mm-hmm. Like the cat and mouse chasing in the hospital, I was like, God damn, I forgot all about this shit. Well, like this is pretty good.
Well, that was the thing, is when I first watched this movie, I remember being like, I finished it, I'd be like, well, it's good, but I think I was expecting a kind of completely different movie. So I remember from that point on, I kind of just had like Cobra was kind of okay. Maybe not one of Stallone's best movies. But I've watched it a handful of times since then, and I actually do appreciate it more and more each time I watch it. And just taking it in, and the fact that it is pretty much like a slasher movie and so on like that, but it's like, what if Stallone took on a serial killer? That's pretty much like the whole premise of this thing, And of course, this has got Brigitte Nielsen in there as the other lead, because this is Stallone's wife at this point, because Arnold literally like jokingly pawned her off on him, and Stallone took the bait.
Right.
Because Arnold had that thing where they had like that affair on like Red Sonja and whatnot like that, because that's like her first main movie. That's what I always think of her as, is Red Sonja and stuff like that. He's like, whoa, you got to stop this. You know what I mean? Like, she's like, no, don't you come to California. Here, I got a perfectly good guy for you. Stallone. Here you go.
Right. Hey, he's got good muscles, Perfect for you.
Yeah, come on, just go hang out with Stallone. He can respect a girl like you. Like, I got Maria,
Hey, he's the Italian stallion. And
then, and then you got Stallone and Cobra here and whatnot. And so by this point, it's like Brigitte Nielsen's like third movie, maybe. She did Red Sonja, which I know, like, I like that movie. I know that movie kind of gets like negative press, but I always think that one's pretty good. Maybe it's just like, it gives you another Conan movie in a sense. And then, then she's in Rocky IV, which is, she actually does a really good job on that one as
she's the scientist lady.
Yeah. So she's there, doing all the tests on him, and then now she's in this one here.
She's great in this one too. Like, she's not a bad actress by any means.
Well,
she's nowhere near as bad as is it Jill Ireland, Charles Bronson's wife, that he puts into like all his fucking movies?
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yep. Well, and that's kind of that's just an action movie guy thing because Clint Eastwood did the same thing too with that, like his like third wife or whatever.
Yeah, which one? Which one?
She's in like all like the late '70s movies, like The Gauntlet. I want to say she's in Any Which Way But Loose. I can't remember
I love that
what her
movie.
name is. Yeah, she's not terrible, but she's always in those movies. You could just see, like, yeah, he's got that going. Where Stallone's put her in this one here. But here's the thing about Brigitte Nielsen: if like people want to give her flack for like the movies, I'm like, dude, she's only 22 years old in this movie, which is kind of mind-blowing.
That's wild.
She does not look. She looks like she's like 32. Maybe 28.
Yeah.
I think it's just because she's so big. You know what I mean? Like she's a tall woman, and kind of like powerful looking. It's kind of weird. It's like she's getting chased down by serial killers, but it looks like she could probably like kick all their asses because she's like 3 inches taller than Stallone.
Right. I think it's also like the makeup and hairstyle choices of the 80s never did anybody like favors.
No, especially it sounds weird. I feel men look in the 80s is good. Women's look in the 80s, not so much. I don't know what it is. Like I feel like the 80s was not it wasn't like they didn't do the most justice for certain women's looks,
Right.
For the most part, men, this is where it's like Bret Michaels, that looks very good. You see some of that look there, like on other people, it's like, oh, I don't know.
Tom Selleck.
Yeah, great. Yeah, right there. I got the mustache.
Yeah. Two sides of the spectrum, right? Two sides of the spectrum, the hair metal side, and then you have like the short shorts. Like that's back when 5-inch seam shorts were fucking cool and everybody skipped leg day. And like, they had no quads, but they looked fucking good.
Yeah, it's funny. There's actually, even speaking of hair metal, there's this really weird scene later down in this movie where Brigitte Nielsen's dancing with robots, or she's doing a photo shoot because that's what she does almost. So she's doing like literally the most 80s photo shoot you could possibly imagine, where there's a bunch of robots behind her. She's in all kinds of weird, almost glam rock stuff. There's even a point where she's putting on a wig where she looks like Nikki Sixx from like the Home Sweet Home.
Shout out the Devil Days.
Yeah, that even too. I was just like, you're just kind of laughing there and so on. And, this is at that point, too, where this movie just is filled with those, like, cool montages and everything like that. And
flashes of tattoos and gang signs, like written on walls.
Yeah, that music video era. But the thing is, too, is, like, the cinematography combined with the editing in this movie is, like, top-notch. Like, holy crap. I kind of forgot how good-looking a lot of these scenes are in this movie. It's just a visual treat.
Speaking of visual treats, the fucking car chase. Like, I'm a sucker for goddamn car chases. That's why, I've been thinking about it. I know we spoke about it offline. I don't know if we spoke about it on a pod. But going back and watching the original Italian Job, because we both love the remake because of the car scenes. Like, skip everything. I just want to watch the cars.
Yeah, well, that was a good, like, that time period was a good one for car, like, resurgence, because they did the Italian Job remake, they did Gone in 60 Seconds, there's the Vanishing Point.
Oh, God, yeah.
The Vanishing Point one's a made-for-TV one, but it's got Viggo Mortensen, and it's still a really good remake. Yeah, there was all kinds of cool stuff then, and it was still at that time period where, vehicle scenes were still realistic. It's like, they weren't going to put CG in or anything like that. They were still going to use real cars,
Yeah, Vin Diesel hasn't taken over yet.
Yeah, but even the first three the first three Fast and Furious movies have, for the most part, all real car scenes. There's like 1 or 2 CG moments in 2, but...
Dude, I was watching this thing, and, like, you can't ever, trust what you find on the interwebs these days. Like, it's just gotten so much worse. But they were saying during Tokyo Drift, they had scouts, Japanese scouts, that would go out, and all they would do is look out for cops or cause a disturbance. So cops would go in some other part of Tokyo, and then they would live with no permits film those drift scenes on those crowded ass streets and then like beat feet out of there. And I was like, was that real? Is that true?
Universal Studios major motion picture. Like, we ain't paying for that.
Right. Yeah, we ain't paying. Japan's like, we can't shut down this street. This is a busy area. And they're like, hold my beer.
Yeah, America coming through.
Hold my Bud Light, buddy, that, I had to pay extra because it's imported into your country.
Yeah,
I'll show you.
I'll show you how to drift through here. Yeah, but well, I could see that. But yeah, the car chase in this one is badass.
Awesome.
And then the vehicle
Awesome.
Stallone has like that 50s whatever road.
50 Mercury. Yeah, it's a 50 Mercury. I had to look it up because I was like, I have no idea what the fuck that is.
No, well, it's like super custom. So like, I know, I saw it somewhere in here too, but it was like super. Yeah, 1950 Mercury. Yeah, just all like souped up and everything like that.
Yeah, a 50 Mercury Monterey with nitrous.
Yes, he's got nitrous in there too. Proto.
Even the nickname of the car, the lead sled. It's like so perfect for the feel of this fucking movie.
Yeah, what's the license plate say? It says something awesome. I can't remember.
Oh fuck! It says damn.
It was just, yeah, it's just kind of like hilarious. It's just like it's just to make Stallone.
Awesome 50 is what it is.
Yeah. It's just
So ridiculous.
Well, because that's just like how this movie starts off. Is just the fact that it actually has a really good intro scene too, where it's like there's this dude who holds up like a supermarket.
Was it good? That was my low point of the movie. Was it good?
Well, I think there could have been some more casualties. I'm just going to say that, but I still like it.
Yes.
And the fact that Stallone I'm surprised I'm surprised the way that Stallone goes in there that there's not more casualties because he is.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
He gets, but I think just the way it's shot and everything like that. This dude holds up this supermarket, keeps all his people at bay and whatnot. Nobody knows really why he's doing it or what the heck he needs from this. But all the police show up there and stuff, and there's of course the other cops that are like, you know what? I think we could talk this through. It's all gonna work out. And it's just like the guys still firing out and so on. They're like, no, we need to call in the Cobra.
We got to call the Cobra. This guy's got an endless supply. This guy has an unreloadable, endless feeding shotgun.
Yeah.
We can't go in. And dude, they must have been like the first time they racked that shit. And like, I could just see like the director, like, because I like to imagine they filmed that first. And, he's getting ready to film this like action movie, right? And he racks that pump shotgun and it gets picked up on the sound and like he hears it. And I can just see him like going from around the camera like, oh, do that like 15 more times. Just randomly. Just yell at a person, rack the shotgun. I don't care if you just shot around and it's expending a, live shotgun shell. Just rack it as much as possible because this sounds fucking awesome on camera.
Yeah, I think that's totally what it was.
Because dude, he does it so much. He's like, move, and then like the chicks run, and then there's like a dude who's like sitting there, and he's like looks at him, he like cocks it again, and you're like
a threat.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Well, then there's that one guy. He's like, okay, man, you can be free. He's like, I could be free. And then it's like, he's like, okay. And he starts going. It's all like almost like slow motion. He keeps looking over his shoulder and stuff.
The tension.
He's going down the food aisle and everything like that. I'm getting distracted by the 1980s things on the shelf. And and then he starts booking it. And you're like, oh, this guy's fucking dead. Racks that shotgun again just for you.
Yeah, because it sounds fucking awesome.
Just to make sure it's cocked and loaded. And then blast that guy. Which, strange enough, I want to say that's the only guy that dies in that thing.
I think so. Yeah, I think that might be the only person. He also kills a shopping cart, and it like Hollywood style like shoots like 15 feet up in the air, which was cool. That's always fun.
It's badass, but yeah. So that's the one dude that dies. Everybody freaks out and so on. This is when they need to get Cobra in there. So he shows up, pulls up in his 50s Mercury and whatnot, gets out. He's got his blue jeans on. He's got his leather jacket.
Somehow doesn't run over any cops because he doesn't slow down.
No, he just comes.
He just bursts in that bitch.
Exactly. He doesn't kill any other bystanders.
They probably heard him coming, just like, everybody get back.
Cobra doesn't stop for anybody. He's on the zombie squad.
He doesn't care.
So he shows up there. He's got his, mirror. He's got his reflective aviators on, which I always feel like those got to be the biggest pain in the ass to shoot with, especially back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Because I kept looking because I was like watching and I was like, oh, I got the 4K.
Waiting to see a lens.
Yeah, waiting to see a camera lens, to see somebody else, and so on. They actually did a pretty job of keeping all that out of there. I only saw some lights was the only thing I caught.
I have always wondered too if you used lighting like correctly, like your on stage lighting. Like I wonder if that could help you, because it's like when you look at like a phone screen or like sometimes, well, maybe not a mirror because a mirror is so reflective, but I always wondered like if that's like a movie trick that's used for like reflective services.
Yeah, especially with those, in the 80s, that had to been like such a challenge for the cinematographer,
Right.
Well, even then, I just think about too, it's like that's like that time period too where you still have to look through the camera and everything like that. So you can't see that small bit of detail until you're at the editing bay, and probably not till you're watching it on the big screen going, they're right there, But I was pretty impressed. I didn't see anything in there, but so whatever. Stallone goes in, he's like, I can handle this. Just send me in there.
Yeah. It's dark inside too. We forgot to mention that.
Yeah, the power is out practically and everything like that. So Stallone gets in there. He sneaks about like 3 aisles in, grabs a Coors with a big old product placement, chucks the Coors as a distraction. He's already blown his cover in there. The guy knows where he's at. The dude's firing on Stallone. Like, he was not very stealthy. If this was a Splinter Cell game, he would have had to restart the mission.
Yes, 100%. And then he like walks down after alerting the bad guy that he's there. Walks down like a freezer aisle where there's just a bunch of hostages. Just like, oh, don't mind me.
Yeah, they're probably thinking that guy's with him.
Probably. I do hate the way he takes out that guy though, because they have that moment, guns on each other, and then Stallone decides to throw a knife at a guy who's got a dead man switch.
Yeah, he's like, what?
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, it's the weirdest thing because it's like the guy's got the shotgun there and everything like that, and then like Stallone goes to like put the gun down, like, oh, I'll just take him in, and then when the guy pulls the shotgun back, he chucks the knife, and I feel like that scene's only written in there just so Stallone could chuck that knife. Like it was like, how do we work this scene so I can throw a knife at a dude? I don't care how we get there.
Dude, that part is fucking crazy though, where he's like, I'll kill him. He's like, I'll kill him, and he's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And you're just like, wait, what?
It's not like the Batman line, which would have been at the same time period in Dark Knight Returns, where the guy's like, I'll kill him. I'll kill him. And he's like, and Batman just says, I believe you. And he shoots the guy in the head.
Right.
And this is the one where it's like, no. It's like, yes. I was like, I don't give a fuck. That's not my job.
I don't care.
That's what I mean. Like, this is like that one where it's like they almost like take that Punisher style character and just run it like as far as he could possibly take it, where it's just like
right, which it has problems. Like, it makes it a little problematic to believe certain aspects of the movie at the end, at the climax, because it's like he doesn't give a fuck.
No, it's this weird thing, and they try to fill in other stuff. And now I know that like there is in like the extended version of this movie or whatever that nobody seems to have. There's more violence, which sounds like that'd be badass to see. But this is like the downfall about like this time in the 80s this is when they started like being like, well, we gotta tone this shit down. Like the 70s and early 80s was all out of control. Like start reeling this in a little bit. So a lot of these movies at this time period, they get cut, and then you always hear about it like, oh yeah, the movie was a rated X movie and it had to been trimmed back. I'm like, well, where the fuck's that rated X version? That's what I want to see. And
right.
I always thought like in the 2000s when they had all the extended cuts and director's cuts and unrated versions and all that stuff, I don't know why more of older movies, they didn't just go back and be like, shit, slap that movie back together in its original format and just sell it as some extended cut. We could make a bunch more DVD sales and so on, and very few
how did
that.
How did RoboCop get made then? Because RoboCop's an 80s movie and it's fucking super violent.
Yeah, that one's that might have been one of those ones too, because RoboCop I think is what, 84 or 5? I could be kind of wrong on that one. Might be actually a little bit later. Actually, I think it's 87. Somehow RoboCop gets away with it a little bit more. Maybe because it's RoboCop doing it.
It's a robot.
You know, because even RoboCop 2 was actually
Yeah, 87.
yeah, RoboCop 2 is 90, and it's still pretty decently violent too. You know, and then of course RoboCop 3 is PG-13, but that's in 93. 93 is when movies started really dropping in, like, you know, they're like, whoa, 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 let's pump this down a bit, keep the violence at a minimum, you know.
Right.
But even still,
Well,
the
that's
80s,
what
though,
we kind of get a shift to different types of movies in the 90s.
yeah. Because the thing is like other movies too is like Total Recall, even though that movie's still pretty violent, like it says in the special features and whatnot on that one that like there's a bunch of stuff that had to been cut, which means that there's this glorious X-rated version out there, but sadly it's never been put out there for sale. You know, and who
Yeah,
knows? A lot of that footage could be sitting in a funky warehouse, so it might not look that good. But I don't care. Just slap it together. It doesn't matter to me if it doesn't look pretty. I just want to see it.
right. Total Recall could have been way more violent. Same thing with Jingle All the Way. That could have been more violent and would have made the movie better. Just kidding.
Yeah, yeah. Well, as I said, it's like there's a lot of that stuff that's like I just want to see these extended cuts. I will say one movie though. This is 90, but there's that Night of the Living Dead remake one, the one that you had on VHS.
Oh, I fucking love that movie.
Next month, and I already bought it. They're literally putting out the extended cut of that one that has all the violence put back in it, or hopefully all the violence.
What?
Yeah, because that was one of those ones too that I remember there was on the DVD, the special features. They talked about like, yeah, we had to really cut a lot of this stuff out, and they showed some of the stuff in that one. So at least you could kind of see the lead scene. You're like, it looks so much more badass with the extra violence in there. So apparently this one hopefully will have all that in there.
I'm gonna have to buy that. That's my favorite zombie movie of all time.
That one's so good, and then that remake's like amazing.
Yeah, it's just so dialed in, and like it fixed all the character flaws. Great acting in it.
Because they fixed, especially it's the female character. That's the one they kind of fixed.
Yeah.
The original one, she's just literally on the couch the whole time, like, and you're just like, okay, just get over it. Like I like this one where she starts off kind of like, oh shit, my brother died and all that kind of stuff, but then next thing you know, she's got a fucking gun. She's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm blasting people in the fucking head.
Right, and I love that part too, where she's the smartest character, and it finally like shows that everybody should have been listening to her, and she's like, they're so slow. We could just walk past them. We could just walk to safety. No one listens to her.
That guy's like, I'm just staying in the basement. The basement's the safest place. Fuck you guys.
Right.
You know, so yeah, I'm excited about that. But that's like one of those like rarities that like somebody finally put that kind of extra violence in a movie back. I don't know what it is. That's
awesome.
Whenever I hear that a movie had more violence in it, and then I can't that version's not released, it always bums me out because I want to see the more violence.
Right. That'd be like if you like one of my favorite movies of all time, Falling Down. If you found out Falling Down had more violence in it, but they cut it because they're like, oh, well, we can't have that.
Yeah.
You know, it's hurting the tone of the movie. And it's like, come on. like we need it. We need more violence.
We need it. Exactly. You know,
that would only make that movie better.
Yeah. And that's the thing, going back to Cobra, is it still has a lot of good action in it, but you could see probably like it doesn't have like as much, like I feel like it's like that intro shopping scene, even though it's shot really cool and everything like that, like it's not nearly as like threatening as I feel like it'd be more threatening if more people died in that. And it's just like, we gotta take this guy out. Like this guy's a maniac. He's already blown away 3 or 4 people. We can't just, so, and that's why you gotta send in, Cobretti.
Yeah, or the slasher parts. The parking garage scene. Yeah, because 2 dudes get hit with an axe, and then a cop gets hit with the van. But we don't really get to see the axe killings. You know what I mean? Like, it's real quick. They, scream, and then it cuts to, the woman running again.
Yeah, so it does a lot of those, cutaway type things and so on,
Right.
Sometimes there's some movie they're like, well, the cutaway makes it actually more effective. Like, bullshit, no, it doesn't.
Right.
That to me,
how much more menacing would it be?
Yeah, the only people that I feel can get away with the cutaway stuff is if you're a low budget movie and you're doing it to save money. I get that,
Right.
But if you have the budget, don't cut away. Show it,
Or you're using it as a tool. To build more tension, you have characters in another room, maybe at gunpoint, they pull someone to the side, and it looks like you're going to get to see like their buddy get chopped up or blown away, but then it cuts away and it cuts to the other actors, reacting to the noises. Like it becomes a great tool there, but in a film like Cobra, where it's got this like horror-esque slasher element, like you got to show those parts.
Yeah, there's got to be a little bit more of those, That's like the only kind of thing that's a little bit of a kind of a bummer there. But whatever, it's still got some interesting stuff. And Cobra gets his guy, walks on out of there. Of course, all the news reporters are all pissed at him and everything like that, doing like, that guy has rights, blah, 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 blah. Because it's like totally that like 80s thing where it's like, whoa, criminals, they got to be tried and, put on the, justice system and everything like that. And I just love that where like Cobra literally grabs like the fucking reporter, slaps him up to like the dead body there, goes, "You want to go there and tell his family about that? You tell him how that guy should have, a trial."
Right. Don't fucking tell me how to do my job. That guy needed to get stuck with a knife and then shot 5 times.
Exactly. Well, that part where it's like, what does he say? It's like the guy's like, he's like, did you really think you needed to do that? He's like, I used everything I had.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's like, don't you take this away from me.
Right. Dude, and then Cobra leaves the crime scene, right? And when we were talking about, he's like, what did you say? You didn't say like overly masculine. I can't even like begin to really describe him.
Because he's trying to pull this extreme, like a tough guy persona, but mixed with like Bruce Springsteen in a weird way.
Dude, it's so ridiculous. Like he is over the top with the masculinity. Like he pulls up to his apartment, rear ends a guy on purpose just to move the dude's car because he wants to park where that dude's parked.
It's like this Chicano guy gets out of his lowrider. He's like, "Hey, man!" It's something like Stallone's like, "Hey, you better get out of the way there, buddy." Rips his fucking shirt up and like,
rips his shirt, flashes his gun. Basically, is like, "Fucking, you see my pistol with the Cobra on the grip? You want to mess with me?"
That's not a pistol. That's my dick.
Yeah, dude. It was out of control. Like that scene, I was like, was that necessary?
This is the thing I like about it. Stallone is he's so fucking confident. He just leaves his car out there with the windows down, being like, "They ain't gonna fucking do shit."
Yeah, right.
And then what makes me laugh is there's like a scene like 40 minutes later in this movie where he comes back again and he just honks the horn and the guy's like, "Sorry, Mr. Cobra, let me get that out of the way for you. I'll show you real nice for you."
Right.
Know your fucking place.
It's so ridiculous, dude.
To top it off, though, is so then he goes up to his apartment that's on beachfront property. It's in Los Angeles, but it looks straight out. It must be in Venice, actually, but it looks kind of like the area in like Miami, like in Vice City or a Scarface. It literally looks like the place in Scarface where the dude gets chainsawed, but it's
dude, yeah.
But it's in Los Angeles and whatnot. He goes upstairs. There's a ginormous Pepsi like neon sign just right there for more product placement, which will come in later to a fight scene, which is actually pretty badass.
Right.
But he goes inside and he goes to get something to eat. He opens up the fridge. He just grabs a pizza box. It's like clearly just staged there. Slaps it down. He's got a carton of eggs. He takes the pizza, and this is the most bizarre thing ever. He's still wearing these gloves this whole time. He picks up the pizza with gloves and then takes out scissors and cuts it in half. Not like it's not like he cut the crust off. It's not like I don't know. He just cut it literally in half, the slice, and then picks up the non-crust side with his gloves and proceeds to eat it as he's gonna watch like the news. It's the weirdest thing.
It is so weird, dude. It is so weird. It's one of those moments where I was like, was cocaine involved?
Yeah. It's
like what's going on here? What's going on here? What was the thought process here? Because like the way it's shot and his movements on screen, like in the scene, are very deliberate. And I'm just like sitting there trying to think about like who came up with this.
Well, and here's the thing: this movie's written by Sylvester Stallone. It's based off a lady's novel, but I think the only thing from the lady's novel is that the Brigitte Nielsen character witnesses a murder, and now she's in witness protection, pretty much. But her book, I think, took place in San Francisco. This is Stallone's variation of it. But I think I read this too, that because Stallone was originally supposed to be in Beverly Hills Cop, which just sounds weird to think of it like that.
Yeah, that's so weird.
And I think when he tried to rewrite the movie, pull out all the comedy, literally just try to make it an action piece for him, and then of course they're like, no, we got Eddie Murphy. See you later, you know.
Right.
So he took elements that he had from that Beverly Hills Cop one and fused it together with that book to kind of rewrite his own story for Cobra.
That makes so much sense.
So you hear all that stuff. I'm like, I guess that's what it was. So that all I picture is like, if Stallone did Beverly Hills Cop, it would have probably been like Cobra, like a prequel to Cobra.
That's so fucking ridiculous. Yeah, that makes more sense now. Not really.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so crazy.
So yeah, Stallone just is doing those goofy things where, yeah, as I said, he's eating that pizza, and it's just like, okay, that's with the scissors. No, doesn't question it whatsoever. Nobody says anything, you know. Yeah, it's a weird one.
Yeah, there's not any way you could like really explain that. It's fucking strange. It's so strange.
It's so strange. That's his. And then he has that carton of eggs. So you're like, okay, well, what? He just cut pizza in half and ate it with gloves. What's he gonna do with that carton of eggs? Well, he opens it up and it's literally looks like it's got like a syringe kit in it or something like that, you know. And it's like, what? Why is that in an egg carton? And what the hell was it? Is it even in there? I've almost drawn a blank now. What was in the egg carton? He opens it up. I don't even think he uses it. I think he just opens it up just to make you once again go, what the hell is that?
Right. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
So I think this movie is almost at like the pinnacle of Stallone's kind of diva era, because Stallone used to be that director guy who would be wearing stupid, goofy, like long furred coat jackets while he was directing and everything like that. And I think in this movie, he didn't want anybody to talk to him while he was like in the role, you know? So he was pulling all that weird shit that like, it's
okay.
You don't think of Stallone as being that kind of guy. It's like, okay, he's Rocky and everything. He's like the people's champ. And it's like, and he's doing that kind of weird stuff. You're like, and then you see this movie, you're like, man, that sounds about right.
It's not him. It's the cocaine is what it is.
You know,
it's the cocaine.
You know, and
I'm telling you, Coke has a strong presence in 80s movies.
Oh, 100%. I mean, that's literally what like Maximum Overdrive is fueled on from Stephen King. That and Budweiser.
Right. Right. Yeah, I mean, it makes so much sense.
Yeah, they'd be like, "Dude, we get the set in like 6 a.m, and Steven's there on his like 6th beer already."
Right. Fuck. Now you're gonna get caught with the meat slicer.
Yeah.
Or the pneumatic bone carver.
Yeah.
And this dude's gonna get killed with a fucking pop dispenser. Oh God.
Yeah. But yeah, in Cobra, what we learn now is that Brigitte Nielsen, she now witnesses a murder, and she happens.
Dude, that part's so cool. Yeah, I love when the cop gets smashed with the van.
Oh God,
that part's so fucking violent.
Yeah, it looks. That's the thing is when there is certain violent scenes, it's like they are really good and they're shot extremely well, and yeah, just her running through that parking garage and everything like that, and then she finally escapes and whatnot. And of course, Cobra's got to kind of take care of her and put her in this sort of witness protection thing and whatnot. You know,
really bad witness protection.
Yeah, it's a strange one. But then again, there's even like scenes too where like I think when they're figuring this all out, they're at the police office and whatnot, and of course Cobra's talking to like there's that police officer that's there the whole time where he's just like, oh, maybe you should just talk your feelings to the criminals, and that's how you get the stuff out here. I work the day.
Right.
Yeah, all this stuff. And I remember like they have like this argument, and then like Cobra just literally walks through like this glass room, and for some reason it was like literally police office, glass in the way, and he's in the shooting range all the time. Like, how is the shooting range just right across from the desk?
Right.
Glass. I don't. I mean, I'm assuming how thick a glass can you get that it keeps it that quiet?
Right. Yeah, cocaine. That's how.
Yeah, exactly. I was just like, that just sounds like those things. Like, well, Cobra, he didn't want to walk that far to the shooting range from his desk, so he put it right across.
Right. Right. This is just how it is, guys.
So he's just firing off in the middle of like the police office.
Right. Oh.
I just thought. Go ahead.
I was gonna say like that. Those parts, his apartment, are like kind of the cringy elements of the film. But I mean, thankfully, like the pacing is great, and it immediately shifts to the hospital,
Yeah.
and it picks up.
Extremely. Well, because also as like our night slasher villain, which it's a multitude of guys. Because at first they're thinking it's just one dude and one.
Right. It's like a cult.
Yeah, and then Stallone's like, hey, maybe it's a bunch of guys, and they're like, oh yeah, like you have a fucking good idea, Capretti, just say,
Yeah. You got a fucking Cobra on the handle of your gun. Oh, you.
yeah, what do you got? That's what I got.
I carry what I want.
Yeah, I do what I need. I'm taking care of crime. I don't.
I used everything. And he will use everything.
He will.
Like, he will. Yeah. But that hospital scene, dude, like, first off, let's go to the villain, Old Buffalo Bob.
Yeah.
He has, like, the perfect face for, like, a villain in a movie.
No. Yeah,
also, he starred in some movie called Hired to Kill. It's not now on my list to watch. It looks... I don't know. I think it's like Vietnam era is where it's like set in. I'm not sure, but I'm excited to watch this movie.
Well, I'm on the Vietnam era.
Right.
That's all I need. You tell me it's a Vietnam era movie, I'm there.
Sign me up. But he looks menacing. His knife choice is retarded, but that's okay. It's 1980s. They went and found it in a gas station. We're like, this is fucking badass.
Yeah, exactly. Look, he's got like the spiky knuckles on it and everything like that. And it's got a curve.
That's the problem with 1980s films, though. Like, whenever somebody whips out a knife, it's one of those like fantasy knives that you see in a truck stop outside of a major city.
Yeah, it's like, okay, here we go. That doesn't seem that practical.
Right. But, what does he do? He breaks in and he has to go into the supply room so he can murder the janitor so he could, start moving undetected. Mm-hmm. But that element where she realizes like her life's in danger, the killer's there, it is so expertly done. Like I'm like torn between two movies here with Cobra. Mm-hmm. One part of me wishes it was a straight up slasher film. And, Stallone's running, getting them through and, trying to save the chick that for some reason he's like the main villain's like, she has to die. My entire cult is coming after her. And if the movie was that of just them escaping the cultists and maybe picking one off here and there, and it's like, these small life or death battles, using like handheld weapons or something like that, or even shooting them. But it was more of a thrasher pacing, a slasher pacing, like a slasher style film. It would have been fucking amazing. And then on the other hand, if it was just like straight action all the way through, that would have been fucking amazing too. But you kind of get both sandwiched into this film. Yeah, and it's interesting. I'm kind of torn because sometimes I love it. And then other times it's like it makes it a little strange.
Yeah, well, because that's the weird thing about it. It's one of those movies where like there's a lot of elements I do like about it. It's not really perfect in any way. It's got some goofiness here and there and so on. But when it is good, it is really good. And just right. Those shots, and especially the chase scene and just the menacingness of that dude when they're in, especially that hospital scene is really good when he's just chasing around with Stallone and the certain people that he kills along the way. And even that part where like, he dyes his hair black as the janitor, and there's that lady that comes in, she's like, you know, you ain't supposed to be here. You're supposed to use a service elevator. And at first you think like, well, that lady's just kind of like being mean to him. He's like, yeah, it's a sanitary thing, you know. She's like, look at me, I got these drug vials.
Right. And he's like, you fucking bitch.
Yeah, he's like, I went through all this effort to dye my hair and put these goofy glasses on. If this was an anime, I would have like the swirls in my eyes.
Right. But it's good. It's good, dude. That's I don't want to give too much away because I think that's probably out of like all the scenes in the film, that's probably my favorite. Like if we had to talk about like this scene was just shot expertly, it would be the hospital scene.
Yeah, no, I think that's probably the best part of it there. That's just really cool chase where he's going after Brigitte Nielsen and so on, and she's running through and he's breaking through like literally like the walls and everything.
Right. She gets finally to the fire alarm, pulls that shit, everybody starts peeling through, and you get that awesome shot of him all the way through the crowd, seeing her and just being like, oh, now I really want to kill this bitch.
Exactly, you know. There's like so much cool stuff there, you know, and then finally Cobra kind of does show up there, you know.
But he gets ambushed too. Like they ambush him outside of his apartment.
Oh yeah, and you get that. That's when that scene comes. You have that badass fight scene where there's the Pepsi sign behind him.
Yeah.
It's got that cool neon Pepsi like sign illuminating it all, and that fight takes place up there on that like patio.
Right. And that whole sequence, like tying those two scenes together, like it just like it makes like such a perfect segment of that film. Like that was where it like could have kept going in that direction, but they're like, no. And I wasn't sure, you know, because he goes and grabs her, and then they disappear to I can't tell if it's a motel or a house. It's like,
well, they
maybe it's like a bit of both.
They go to like those towns that are like right above Los Angeles area and so on, because it's one of those ones like that you only get like 40 minutes outside of Los Angeles, and it gets like super hillbilly fast. Like
they went to Bakersfield.
It's like before you even get to Bakersfield, there's like before you go down the Grapevine. Like I remember one time I like took a detour and I went through a bunch of those like towns because they were doing road construction or something like that, and there's just all these like towns that are like they look identical to like how they look in that movie right there still to this day, where there's just they're just these teeny tiny like hidden in the forest towns and whatnot. And so they go to like one, so they don't get that far out of Los Angeles. They go to like a motel, kind of no different than like almost like in Terminator 1, where they kind of go off to hide out there. And then we kind of forgot there's also this other cop guy that's kind of like Stallone's friend that's with him, and it's like his only other buddy on the force, really, for the most part. And for some reason, Stallone was always badgering him about his like candy intake. Hey, you should probably eat like a turkey sandwich or something, you know? Maybe get some prunes, you know?
Hey, maybe you should get a pizza and cut it in half with a pair of scissors and then eat that shit.
See, and it's one of these other like goofy lines he's talking about. He's trying to like talk all this health stuff. The characters, it's like, dude, you just ate a pizza and you sliced it in half with scissors. Like, I don't. Like,
yeah, what the fuck are you saying, Stallone?
Yeah, he's just like, everywhere he's going, he's like, yeah, he's trying to do this. And there's even a part too where like he's eating this apple, and he's like, he goes to Brigitte Nielsen, he's like, hey, you want a bite off of this? Like, dude, you just been macking on this. I know you guys are like married in real life, but not in the fucking movie sense characters.
Right. It was a weird moment. Oh, and I apologize because I jumped ahead. After the hospital scenes, the car chase, right?
Oh, I guess that's where the car chase kind of happens at.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Stallone and his badgering this guy like who's always eating like Snicker bars and drinking Coca-Cola. It's funny, they got both Coca-Cola product placement and Pepsi placement in this movie. They're
Dude,
like getting
all the money,
money from every direction.
Coolers, Coke, yeah. Pepsi.
Yeah, so this dude's just eating like junk food and whatnot. And he's got like, there's these lines in here that they're like clearly written by Stallone, but like he says something to Brigitte Nielsen, like he's got all this like candy that he fucking bought like at the this mini mart somewhere up north of LA, and he's like, hey, you want some? And she's like, sure. He's like, another, like, what's he say? He's like, another junk belly or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like one of those like goofy things. It's like, well, that just sounds like so. Maybe she's like, maybe I don't want it anymore. If you're gonna call me that, fuck you. I
Right.
just
Right.
want some of your fucking sweet tarts. That was all I thought you were offering me.
Right. Uh.
But I felt like only Stallone would have wrote a line like that. I could not imagine anybody else putting that in a script.
Well, and it's so weird because it's like he has moments where he writes awesome shit.
Yeah.
And then, I know I've said it like 5 times now, but cocaine. Cocaine's a motherfucker, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think it's one of those ones. And just, I think that's just also how Stallone is, though. Is he just sometimes has some kind of goofy stuff. Because I'll even say that's the thing about Stallone's movies. Like, if I kind of compare him to Arnold, is Arnold generally doesn't really have bad movies. You know, like the worst.
Well, Arnold doesn't write and direct his own movies either.
That's true. That's true.
Arnold goes to experts and they're like, "Hey, I got this amazing role for you in this movie called Commando." And Arnold probably reads it and he like looks at the one-liners and he's like, "Oh, this is good. This is good."
Yeah, and that's probably it because that's the thing about Stallone's movies. Stallone's movies can kind of go in like waves. Where Arnold movies, it's like I feel like the worst Arnold movie is still a pretty darn good movie. You know?
Oh yeah. Yeah, dude. And well, even some of the one-liners that Stallone had in this film, like they weren't bad. And I guess they're not one-liners, but his little like, I guess like Arnold-esque
catchphrase,
catchphrases like at the end where he's like, "You have the right to remain silent." Like it's like towards the end of it, and you're just like, "Oh, okay." Like that didn't fit anything with this. Like, are you trying to be like Arnold? Like, is this like you trying to like get some of that juice going? It just didn't make sense.
Yeah, well, and I think it kind of is because this is this is like at the peak of like the competition between both of them, you know. And you know, Arnold would have just done Commando, you know. And once again, if you compare Commando to Cobra,
Oh
I feel
fuck,
like
yeah.
it's kind of a hard like, you know what I mean? Like you're gonna take Commando every single time. You know, not saying that Cobra isn't still very interesting, but like it's not Commando interesting.
Oh, dude, Commando has so many fucking moments too. Like, and like, yeah, that has one of my favorite moments of like all movie, like of all time. Like, you know, people will be like, "Oh, like, I'll be your Huckleberry." Oh, that's such a great movie line. Like, you know, I want that like tattooed on me. I want it written on the wall. I want Arnold holding Sully over the fucking cliff in Commando, going like, "Hey, Sully, remember when I said I'd kill you last?"
Yeah, Matrix, you did. I
lied. One of the greatest moments in cinema history, in my opinion.
I do have an Arnold T-shirt that literally has it where he's holding Sully over like that, and he's like, "Sully, this is my weak arm."
That's so funny.
But yeah, that movie is just like prime to the brim and stuff. And then it's funny you mentioned Tombstone because once again, the same director as Cobra.
I know. I had to throw that in there.
But yeah. So like you know they go to this, you know, they're trying to hide out from the night slasher and whatnot, and they're up at these kind of motels and whatnot. And of course it's like, and this is the other weird thing is so they got the best friend is there with them. And then they have this chick that's like, "Oh yeah, she works at the police station too. She's tagging along." But you know, we've already watched the movie, or we've been watching the movie. She clearly is working for the cultists, so she's kind of like the undercover, like, you know,
right,
agent for them, working for the police. And so they're all up there, kind of hanging out at this motel and whatnot, waiting it out. And even Stallone finds her out talking to the payphone, and he's all like, "Hey, what are you doing out here? You like, phone don't work in your room?" So, "Oh no, I had to call back home. You know, phone was broken." "Oh yeah, that seems okay."
Well, I like the way he's like, he just looks at her, and you could tell he knows that, you know, she's alerted him. Well, she's talking on the phone every fucking like scene. They're in a diner, she's on the phone. She's just like, you know, constantly giving up their location, and he spots her doing this, and just that line where he just looks at her, he's like, "You should go inside." Like the way he said, that's like his best line, and it's not even like, you know, it's not even like he's trying to fucking give a good line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not some Arnold line, but that's like his best moment where it's like, "Oh, that was badass."
Yeah. Well, that's like
basically it's like, "I know it's you."
That's like a Steve McQueen style of line where it's like it can be very subtle, but it like has a lot of impact.
Yeah, a lot of context involved too.
You know, which I know that was definitely part of what he was going. I think he was going for a mixed match between that and sort of John Wayne because his name's even Marion in the movie as well.
Really?
So it
That's
has a
funny.
John Wayne reference is going there because that's where like it's one of those scenes where like the buddy's all like, "Hey man," he's like tells Brigitte Nielsen, "You should go up and do this," and he whispers, "Go tell him that, man." And then she does. She's like, "Oh, so your name's Marion?" He's like, "Who the hell told you that?"
Get the fuck out of here.
You know, like it was like he's like, and then he even has like an Alice Cooper reference. He's like, I don't know. He's like, would have been kind of cool if my name was Alice instead. And I don't know if he's trying to be a joke or what.
Right. I don't know. I don't know. That part was weird.
But yeah, so it was just supposed to be like I think that's supposed to be part of that like tough guy thing. It's like, oh, he's so tough, but guess what? He had a girl's name growing up.
He was a boy named Sue. It made him strong.
Yeah, you know. Now he's just making up for it, no matter what.
Right. So he goes back into the motel. He's got to fuck his wife now.
Yeah,
It's got to happen. You know, what else do you do?
Well, I just think about that. Like once again, I just think about everybody's probably getting their rooms and stuff, and the characters there is like, maybe we should save a little bit of money. Maybe me and I'll watch over her tonight. You know, it's like yeah, sure.
Right.
80s.
What else are you going to do when you're on WITSEC, right?
Yeah, exactly. This is legal.
You think the cops do that for free?
Plus, I still gotta save money because I know they're not gonna replace my car.
But right. So, and then that leads to where I feel like they had to, like Stallone had to have watched Escape from New York and just like fell in love with Escape from New York's John Carpenter, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so John Carpenter's choice of a Mac 10 with a fucking piece of shit rifle scope on it that somehow is like a laser sight and its giant suppressor that's only a foot long. Like, I'm guessing Stallone must have really loved that because he was like, I'm going to also pick a piece of shit PDW, like pistol caliber, little tiny machine gun as well.
Yeah,
So,
and just trying to like soup it up so it looks more badass than it really is.
yeah, they put a fucking laser sight on it. So like where that laser sight is where, your fucking iron sights are. So it basically makes it worthless. And it's like a few inches up and it won't even match up. This is how fucking stupid it is. It won't even match up. So the weapon he uses is an absolute, well, it works, but it's also like a complete failure flop of a submachine gun. It's a Finnish Jatty-matic submachine gun. It is most well known for trying to be sold to the Finnish border guard who looked at it and were like, I don't fucking want this. And then the company went bankrupt.
Stallone got it probably on sale.
Yes. So then, like 30 years later, another Finnish company bought the tooling and the rights, intellectual property for this machine gun, tried to bring it back and fix it, and also went bankrupt. So it's like the dumbest choice for a submachine gun to use in a movie. It's fucking weird. I urge anybody to go watch Forgotten Weapons, hosted by Ian McCullough, I think his last name is. He has a video on it, and it's fucking hilarious. Like, you have the receivers like this, right? It's flat. And then the barrel is like, in another direction, like a whole separate angle. So, like, actually, the receiver's like this. The receiver's bent, and then the barrel is like bent like this. So when the action moves through, it's actually like a giant hunk of metal going down, and that's what helps you control recoil. So it's tilting the barrel down as you're shooting to help with the recoil. But the design is fucking retarded. Like, it is the most retarded thing ever. You fucking charge the weapon with the foregrip. It's the only gun, like few guns, to where it has like a pump action action to, put the gun into battery so that you can start shooting the fucking thing. It has a 2-stage trigger. So if you lightly squeeze the trigger, it's single action. And then if you squeeze the 50-pound, I don't know what it is, but it's a super fucking heavy trigger that holds the sear down, the auto sear down. So it fires in full auto. So he literally picked the dumbest fucking gun. Where the sling mount is, where Stallone's wearing it on his side, where that sling mount is, if you pull that fucking thing down, it opens up the fucking machine gun. So it makes no sense how he's even carrying the fucking thing. So all that out of the way, because that was what I was most excited about. I was like, what is that machine gun? I want to see him shoot people with the machine gun. And you even see it a couple times. He's in the back of the truck. He changes mags, which is the only good thing about that gun, is it takes Swedish K mags, which is a badass World War II era, Cold War era submachine gun that the Finns had. Mm-hmm. And he puts a fresh mag in, and he fucking literally goes and pumps the thing to get that thing going. But it's funny. It's funny.
Yeah. Well, I bet you anything, the prop master who was putting this together saw that thing on sale or discount and said, I could slap some things on this. I'll make it look partially sci-fi, and here we go.
Right. I mean, it looks cool in a way.
I was gonna say, because I think, I'll say this. On camera, all those goofy features could kind of look kind of cool. In real world situation, it sounds like it's very impractical. But on camera, you can see where it's kind of it's unique.
Right. I feel like it was a very singular choice to try and find something iconic. You know what I mean? Arnold in Commando has his M16 A3 or A2 with the 203 grenade launcher.
Yep.
And it's got the heat shield on it. It's very iconic, but not super iconic. You could see a lot of those in films, but it's fucking badass. And then, it could be kind of lost in the shuffle. Also, Arnold shoots everything in Commando. He shoots a fucking quad launching rocket launcher thing.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I keep going back to
also becomes, they put that in Resident Evil and all that stuff. It also Commando.
Right. But you have Escape from New York that takes another submachine gun and, put some Hollywood flair on it, and it becomes an iconic weapon for a movie. Yeah. It's a dog shit gun for Snake Plissken to use, but it's kind of fucking cool when you look at it. So I kind of feel that's what they were doing. They were just trying to find something weird that would really stand out. And apparently the gun works great because it's very simple. It's just fucking strange. It's weirdly designed. The gun was made to never have a stock ever. So you would only shoot it by holding that weird foregrip. That also, the only way to put the weapon on safety is you take the foregrip and you fold it up into the gun, and now it's on safe. So when it looks normal with the weird charging foregrip thing stowed up into it is when it's on safety, and you have to pull that down to be able to fire the gun. So it's just weird all around.
Yeah. The upside, I guess I'll say, that safety is at least 100% if it's safe or not safe.
Oh yeah.
It's not just a little button that sometimes you kind of forget which direction it's supposed to go first and foremost. So you do the old squeeze the trigger test. Oh no, it's the other way around.
Right. They even have a weird feature on it to where when you charge the weapon. So when it is not, locked and loaded, ready to go, and that bolt's ready to drop forward and you start spraying bullets everywhere, it's just flat on where the rounds will eject. But when you charge the thing, it turns and flips over, and it has in red fire written on the side of it.
Okay, well, now we got that out of the way there. It's we can fire this gun now.
It's ready to go. It's such a fucking weird gun, but it looks kind of cool.
It does look cool, and there's also that sweet secondary car scene in this one too, where he's in the back of the pickup truck and Brigitte Nielsen's driving and he's firing that.
Dude, yeah.
So
right. Well, I mean all this, it's I'm talking shit about the gun, and I kind of am because it's a silly gun. It's more I'm talking shit about the gun, but the gun for this movie, I mean, it was pretty cool. It's definitely iconic. uh, Forgotten Weapons talked about, they said the only other gun or only other movie that they know of where that gun was used was Red Dawn, and it was just some random character carrying it.
Oh, just like
So,
background, like Soviets or something.
right, right. So, here we have something like very iconic. So I think Stallone was successful there because I want to say he picked it. I want to say he went into a gun vault and he was like, what the fuck is this?
I'm pretty. I can see that happening for sure. And he probably thought it was the coolest thing.
Right.
It's that's the Cobra gun right there.
He's like fucking high on coke and he's just like, wait a second, to like start shooting, I gotta pump it like a shotgun. Fuck yeah. That's fucking awesome.
So it's
kind of cool.
Yeah, you gonna pump this machine gun, like well, just like it's a shotgun? Sure, why not?
Right, right. If you are a nerd like me, go watch Forgotten Weapons. Mm-hmm. It's fucking cool. It's a neat gun,
Yeah. Yeah, no.
It just bankrupt two companies to bring that.
But it all worked out at the being Cobra, because
exactly, that's its high watermark. That's its high watermark for that gun.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, it was also hilarious when he's in that hotel room, and I literally laughed out loud when he opens up a pouch, and I'm like, oh, what is he going to pull out of that pouch? And he starts pulling out hand grenades, and I'm like, how the fuck does a cop have hand grenades?
Exactly.
He's just running around with like a GI pouch filled with hand grenades in it. Like, okay, hell yeah, let's go.
You know what I mean? It's just one of those ones we don't question that. There's a lot of things that aren't questioned as much in the 80s, I notice.
Right. He's going to use everything. That's what it is. Fully automatic weapons that are really exotic with giant red dot or like laser sights on it and hand grenades.
Well, the weird thing about this movie too, when you think about it, is that there's like no real backstory on who the heck Cobra is. Like, you literally know nothing about this character. You just know that he's a cop that works on the zombie squad, which whatever exactly that is, like some kind of like, I just feel like it's just like, it's the thing that you bring in for like the guys is like, they're almost like expendable, I guess. It's like a proto-Expendables type name,
Right.
Like, if he dies, well, whatever, you know what I mean? But he's also the best guy for the job,
He's fucking out of his mind.
Yeah, he's out of his mind. He's like, he's like Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon 1. He's suicidal maybe, but not suicidal. He's just a lunatic.
Right.
And but yeah, it's like you have no idea what this guy's backstory is, like, and it makes me kind of wonder, like, what if that was in sort of those extra like half an hour of scenes that's in the X-rated cut.
Right, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe. Or does he even need a backstory? He has a badass 50 Mercury that he just totally fucking totals. He's got machine guns and hand grenades. Like, he's a pretty badass character.
Yeah.
He throws knives at dudes with dead man switches.
Yeah, exactly. and then he picks that bomb up after and goes like, yeah, I knew it wasn't active.
Right. I knew he was faking.
I knew that guy couldn't put a bomb together. One of those things. I know there's the one thing that's kind of cool is in this like 4K version, they actually put the television version on there, which I see that every once in a while in certain special editions, because sometimes you'll get the television version. Now the downfall is it will probably cut even more of the violence, which is a bummer. But sometimes because they cut stuff down, they'll throw deleted scenes in that make the movie match back up to its time. So I think the television version actually has a little bit more like other stuff. Like, I saw some deleted scenes. I don't know if they came as after the television one, but there's one where like a little kid brings in a Christmas present to the police station. And we forgot to mention that this movie takes place on Christmas, just like Die Hard, before Die Hard, and Lethal Weapon, before Lethal Weapon, strangely enough. So this movie was actually the trend center for the action movie taking place on Christmas.
I didn't realize that. I remember the Christmas tree. I just didn't even put it together.
Yeah,
I feel dumb.
There's the dude that gets shot in the supermarket, because when he's running away, he gets shot like a couple times. And then for some reason...
Into the tree.
He gets... Yeah, but this is the weirdest thing. He gets shot from the back, but then he shoots to the right to the tree, because it's like the tree's there, you gotta jump into the tree.
Right. Well, yeah, it's way more cool. Of course you do.
But I saw this like deleted scene in this one where there was like this little kid brought in like a Christmas present to like the police station. And of course, one of the guys starts opening it up, and the other dude's like, "Dude, shouldn't you let the dog sniff that first?" He's like, Christmas." You know, and then it ended up being, I think, I think that, like, I almost want to say it was like the hands were cut off. They didn't show it, but like there was the lady before Brigitte Nielsen was caught,
right?
Who, I think she leaves out of her like job at the, you know, like the whatever the.
Yeah, she
or whatever. I was trying the diner. I don't know why that word was escaping my mind, but she leaves out of the diner and she gets tracked down or whatnot. Or there's the lady that stopped under the underpass. It could have been one. There was a handful of people that were killed in the beginning that kind of were they were just fodder.
That dumbass lady, dude. You're under an underpass and you get like a tiny love tap. She's like, "Oh fuck, I guess I'll just turn my car off now."
Yeah, and then she's pissy too. She's like, "What the hell? Were you not thinking? Were you drinking, lady?" And there's like four guys surround her. And it's in a van. Let's be honest. It's not just a car.
And it's like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. I would not. And here's the thing. They're like 70s and 80s vehicles. They can take a hit and keep going.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
You know, if that accident happened nowadays, it probably would have set off all 6 airbags.
Right, yeah, probably.
And so she wouldn't be going anywhere, so I guess she's stuck anyway. It's almost scarier nowadays when you think about it.
I know. Dude, what is that fucking Arnold movie? Is it Commando where he kicks the front of the car and sets off the airbag?
No, are you thinking of Die Hard 4?
Is that in Die Hard 4?
Well, there's the one in Die Hard 4 where Justin Long goes and he has a way to get them to start the car back up on the OnStar. And so he takes the baseball bat or whatever and hits the front of the bumper and it sets
yes.
And then he plays that thing like, "Oh, my dad, he's bleeding out, but I think I could drive him to the hospital if you just start the car." And they do, and then they take on off.
Right. I'll find it. It's going to be after this. I'm almost positive there's a movie where a dude fucking like hits the front of a car and it sets off the airbag and like incapacitates, the person behind the wheel.
That's pretty bad. That's actually a pretty, because I think about that, it's like, that's really.
Unless I'm making it up and then no one fucking steal it. It's mine.
Yeah, that's a great scene. If it's not, well, here's the thing. If it's only in one movie, that's still like a good enough scene to use somewhere else.
Right. I may have dreamed it up.
That almost sounds like you could use that like in a superhero thing where, like, say if someone was trying to escape in a car and you had a character that was strong enough that like Captain America or like the Hulk would probably just kick the car out of there.
Maybe it was in an episode of Jack Reacher. Because I remember it being just a big ass dude.
Well, and I'm assuming it's not Tom Cruise kicking a fucking bumper.
Well, definitely, yeah. Tom Cruise is not a big ass dude, Spence.
the bumper would kick him back, so.
Yeah. But he would do it because he does his own stunts.
Yeah, Tom would do it, and you would still believe it. Just like how even in that last Mission Impossible movie, when I watched him swim from the depths of that submarine up with no air and no stops to acclimatize himself or like whatever, acclimate himself for it, and he made it through. I'm like, that seems literally impossible. And it's like, well, it's Tom Cruise. Like, he found a way.
Dude, he's a psycho. He's a fucking psycho. Dude, Tom Cruise in the movie Collateral. Is it Collateral, the one with Jamie Foxx where he's a cab driver?
That's a good
one.
Dude,
that fucking movie. He pulls off like a textbook Mozambique drill. Where the two dudes come up to him, the guy has the gun, Tom Cruise like slaps the gun away, like slaps it away, and then draws and shoots from the hip, then domes the guy, then does the same thing, 2 to the chest, 1 to the head, to the other guy. Dude, so Tom Cruise is a bad motherfucker. I fucking love that guy.
Yeah, that's a great movie. That's kind of like almost like a somewhat forgotten like Tom Cruise one, but that movie is extremely good all the way around.
That movie and Brad Pitt's Killing Them Softly. It's like two like crime movies that like just flew under the radar, and I don't get why.
Yeah, I remember because I saw Killing Them Softly. I saw both those movies in theaters actually. And I just remember, it's just like they kind of came and went, and they're both really good. They're like those subtle kind of action movies where they're not filled to the brim with a bunch of stuff, but when it is, it's like it's really dialed in.
Right. Speaking of action, The bad guys come. The dumb bitch calls in all the psycho cultists. They're storming the motel slash house slash whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
And dude, it drove me crazy when Cobra's basically like knocking out the windows so he could shoot his gun through them. I'm like, bitch, just shoot through the fucking window. Like, you're completely exposed. Like, they're shooting at the house. Windows are exploding next to the chick, but, Sylvester Stallone's there like, psh, psh.
Yeah, breaking the windows down.
He does like a weird spin in front of it too. Like, he like spins off the wall fast. He's like, all right, let me break these windows. It's fucking so weird.
Yeah. No, there's definitely some goofy stuff there. And then I guess it's after that when they're in that car chase again where he's in
the truck.
And he's blasting his way through, which is actually a pretty badass scene. She's driving through all kinds of stuff. We get some explosions and so on like that.
Dude, those stunt riders. Badass.
Dude, there's some stunts in this movie too. That was another thing I thought too. It's like, wow, they're like extremely dialed in. There's one where there's a guy on a motorcycle. I think he falls off of the car. He rolls, and dude, he gets
under the car.
Yeah, he goes under the car and he comes out, and dude, that motorcycle, you could see that dude just get so close and has to dart around him. Like, dude, it's like pretty impressive. Like, wow, that looks like it could
on like a dirt road too. It looked like.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So the car chase scenes, where they're jumping over the whoops, and he probably went through like 8 or 10 Mercuries, and then the motorcycle scenes.
Yeah, where they're in Venice and like they're shooting over all those humps and just like that car was just never made to jump like that.
No, I'm sure they went through at least 10 cars.
Yeah.
But dude, it was so fucking awesome. Like whoever the stunt team was on Cobra, fucking golf clap. Yep. It was phenomenal. The motorcycles getting shot, simulating Stallone spraying him with his machine gun, and they swerve past each other and fall simultaneously and like roll out of the way so more bikes could like continue ripping down the road. Dude, it was shot beautifully. Fucking phenomenal.
They're so timed out and everything there. It's kind of pretty darn impressive how good Law that was.
Dude, it's so impressive. Like Stallone can make action. He can make fucking action.
No, and that's 100% true. That part's so dialed in. And just the combo of like how good the stunts are and how good both the car scenes in this are
right.
They're very top notch, And then as that leads us, I guess somehow they get to that like refinery or whatever the heck that they're at.
They go through the orange field. I think those were oranges or lemons or something.
Oh, that's right. They do go through that. But how do they get to that, that steel mill, like molten, like?
It just happened to be at the edge of the farm. Like the chick, Brigitte runs into the factory, the refinery that just happens to be at the edge of a farm. They're making steel. It's like, oh fuck. It's like the Terminator.
T2.
Like Terminator, yeah. T2's like steel refinery, but like a ghetto version of it, really dirty version.
Real old school, whatnot. I feel like
it's a cool spot.
Yeah, I feel like it's meant to be a very artistic choice to kind of give it like this, like it's like they've gone into hell because everything's all like deep red colors and so on.
Right.
Like and this is where Stallone's gonna have his final duel at and everything there. That's like they're gonna battle in hell.
Well, he's got to kill the sniper guy first too. Like this whole gunfight. Truck car chasing with the motorcycles, fucking doing all kinds of crazy stunts. Stallone throwing grenades, running through the whatever type of field it is, oranges, lemons, whatever it is. Yeah. There's that dude hunting him the entire time with that hunting rifle, trying to snipe Stallone. Right. And they get into a battle, and that's the line. That's the part where I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, Stallone? Where he pours gas all over the guy. And he's like standing above him on a catwalk. And, I made a joke about it because I put a toothpick in, but the entire fucking film, this character is walking around with a matchstick in his mouth, like the stupid bitch from the Deadpool movie, Gina Carano's character from Deadpool. Like setting it all up just for one fucking scene. You know what I mean?
Well, and it reminds me of like that, once again, that match in his mouth the whole time is supposed to be like, check out how badass this is. Like, all the things about the character is like, how much more badass can we make this character be? You know, give him the sunglasses, give him the weird gun, you know, give him the leather jacket and the jeans and the cool car, and now he's got a match.
Put a Cobra on his grip handle.
Yeah, it's just like all these layers to it. To like, how much more can we add to it? Like, you know.
Right. But dude, when he lights that match and he's just like, you have the right to remain silent. And it's just like, what?
Well, because you're not going any farther. You're not going to a court of law, so here we go.
Yeah, right. Which, oh gosh. Okay, that's number two. That's the number two killing that Cobra does, where it sets up for the final part. But before we get there, the turncoat, the bad police lady. I don't even know if she is a cop. She's something. She might be a 911 dispatcher that somehow got in on this mission. We don't know.
Who somehow is involved in a cult.
Right.
There's no backstory on any of these characters, so we know nothing.
She's just there. She's like at the police station like she's supposed to be there, and everyone accepts it. And at the motel when we're trying to run away from the cultists.
Yeah, she's still there. For some reason, she tagged along with nobody questioned it. Like, hey, you know what? We should take her along with us.
Right. But she is very impactful. So she's trying to kill the chick. Stallone stops her. He's trying to kill the main bad guy, Buffalo Bob. Buffalo Bob escapes, and then we have this awesome moment where it's like a cat and mouse little hunting part, and Buffalo Bob makes a wrong turn. Stallone has him with his stupid machine gun with its red dot aimed right on his chest. And he has this whole fucking like exposition about Stallone has rules. Cobra has to follow rules and he can't just kill bad guys. After the entire film, he's killing people.
Yeah, like it's that thing that he's probably killed more bad guys than the bad guys have killed like civilians.
Yes, he is the mass murderer in LA at this time. He's throwing knives into dudes that have bombs, potentially have bombs, and then just guns them down because the knife doesn't kill them. Lights the motherfucker on fire, and now he's not going to kill the main bad guy as he's holding his fantasy knife. You know, you have rules, you have laws you have to follow. Your society will crumble.
I felt like it was there so that the bad guy could have his bad guy monologue about talking about how for some reason he's going to be the new society. Well, whatever this new society is, it's like none of this is really explained. It's just like, oh, okay, so
no.
The serial killer society, like, you know, just the freedom act of being able to go out at nighttime and like not be able to do whatever.
Right. You want. What exactly are you trying to do? Yeah. What change are you trying to make?
Yeah, like so it makes it feel like you're like, what is he, like a terrorist or something like that? Is that does he have like a overall mission goal?
Right. We don't get to know.
No, we never do.
And it's never explained.
No, it's before anybody can question him, Stallone's gonna finish him off.
Right. So Stallone's gonna kill this guy, and then that's when the chick gets involved. She dies fast. She gets a shotgun blast straight to her fucking back.
Yeah, but she survives that first shot and then comes back to attack Stallone again.
Right, exactly. But dude, what did you think about the final fight scene? What were your honest thoughts?
It reminds me like Stallone tried this again with do you remember that movie Bullet to the Head?
Oh shit, yeah, where it's like the Yakuza and stuff.
I don't remember there being Yakuza in it. I remember it's got what's his name? Jason Momoa is the main villain in it. And at the very end of the movie, Stallone and Jason Momoa, they have this battle of axes in kind of like a machine.
Oh shit, yeah.
So it reminds me kind of similar to like this battle here, because instead they're in like a molten lava refinery or whatever, like ironworks, and
that one's way more cool though.
That was pretty badass in that. Well, that's what I mean. I felt like he wanted to try it again and like add to it. This one here,
Dude, I just realized I'm an asshole, and I thought there was Yakuza involved because he has the big old back piece that's all Japanese style. And the cop that he's working with is Han from Tokyo Drift. So I'm just an asshole.
you're just reaching for pieces of just putting it together.
I know. Asian tattoo, Asian detective, Yakuza's involved. Has to be.
Yeah, but like, yeah, that's still a pretty good movie. It's got kind of like that movie has just as many kind of goofy Stallone lines as like this one. This guy. Remember, there's one scene where like Stallone tried to make it sound real badass, but he's like, "Let's go take a bath," because they're going to the bath.
Yeah. Right. Japanese also.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you for proving my point.
There we go. So so at the end of Cobra, we got this. The setting's really cool for the final battle and whatnot like that.
Right.
The monologue, even though we don't know what this guy's really agenda is, the fact that he's just creepy and evil, and he reminds me of almost like in a weird way. Even though this is an '80s movie, the villains kind of feel like the way that a lot of '70s movies villains are, where like you have they're just pure evil. They have no.
Yeah, they're just crazy.
Because that's the thing about like a lot of especially '90s and above is they start making the villains were like. The villain has to be very well-rounded, and they're almost not really a villain if you think about, which is kind of stupid because then it's like, no. I like the idea that there's some people out there that are just pure evil, and that makes them much more scarier, in my opinion, than if they kind of go like, if you start to go like, well, I kind of see why he did that. Like, well, I see why he killed those ladies. They were being assholes to her. Maybe that's not what I would have done, but I get why he did it. Like, once you start to get to that point, I feel like you start losing like the villainness of certain characters. You know?
Yeah. It's like they're trying to chase that moment and falling down where at the end he goes, I'm the bad guy.
Yeah, because that's the only thing about, as much as I love Falling Down, that ending I always think kind of takes away a little bit of the movie because you're like, wait a second, they made him out that guy's kind of crazy, like as is. Like, I just like the idea that like, no, it's just a dude that finally just had it and he just kind of snapped. You know, but they make it out like, oh no, he had kind of problems all along. I hate to sort of say
he never killed anybody who didn't deserve it.
Yeah, I feel like that was and then like his family's not like he's like very like separated from his family and so on, you know.
Right.
You know, I felt like that was definitely like Warner Brothers. Yeah, I don't think that was necessarily like the creative team on that. I definitely felt like it was probably like Warner Brothers was like, you know what, put that in there. We don't want people to like actually just go out and think this guy's a hero type thing.
Right. Know? We can't glorify him.
Yeah, because sometimes they get weird when you see like that kind of stuff happen, and it's like, oh wait a second, this guy's supposed to be our main character. Like, no, we gotta twist this around. But whatever. 99% of that movie's super good. It's just that last part is just the only kind of goof. You could almost turn the movie off like the last like 5 minutes, and you'd probably like be perfect. Right when he gets home, you're like, turn it off right there, and he sees his wife and kid, and they're happy as ever to see him. Perfect. That's all I needed to know.
Right.
You know, nope. That we don't need to know any farther past that. That's where the movie can end.
Right, 100%. 100%.
You know? But Cobra here, whatever, he's down there. They're having this knife duel with, each one's cool knives from like the local gas station where they got, beef jerky, some matches, got a jolt.
We have lots of Hollywood moments. That's my favorite game to play with, my wife or friends or just anybody. Poor office worker when the mood hits. And you grab anything that, you can pretend to be a knife and you just yell Hollywood and then they gotta stop you from downward stabbing into their face.
Exactly.
We get lots of that in this movie.
Yeah, you get a lot of those stabbing moments, get a lot of knife battles, maybe not as intense, but still. You gotta watch these guys fight it out here. And so
the chick just watching from afar, not helping. Just like, oh no.
Well, yeah. At this point, she's like, you know what? Let's just see if hopefully, Cobra here takes care of me. Right.
But I will say, like, that is one of those moments that, like, as soon as I saw it again, I was like, fuck, I remember this. I remember the first time seeing him, watching that hook come down, and, lots of foreshadowing of those giant, random, like, massive meat hooks just going by. Yeah, in each of the scenes.
Why is there these giant meat hooks in the background too, just hanging here?
Just everywhere. Just everywhere. Like, they're constantly moving by, but the perfect moment happens and Stallone lifts that motherfucker up and impels him on the meat hook.
Yeah, it's like Leatherface style.
Right. And the dude sold it.
Yeah, and I think that's actually a pretty badass like death for that guy, because not only gets hooked on this meat hook and he's getting just in pain and so on, and then it takes him and it just incinerates him through there as the chain drags along, which is pretty badass.
How fun would it be if they like really showed it? Because I was waiting for it. I was like, oh, are they gonna like show him going through that fire? Because that would be so metal.
Yeah, no. See, that's the thing is, I wonder if there was just a lot of times, like when they have to cut things back, a lot of times there might just be like an extra 3 seconds. But hey, 3 seconds makes still something.
Right. But, I mean, it's badass. It was a badass death for like the main villain.
Yeah, no, I think that's pretty cool. I mean, everything there, it's like, okay, that's pretty sweet. He goes out, and at the end of the day, we get classic '80s ending where it's just like, police solve the crime. Everybody's dead, so there's no witnesses, no one to question. That's okay. And the cops are like, hey, Cobra, is there anything we can do for you? Thanks for taking care of this mass murder. Like, well, you give me a new one of my '50s car.
Right.
Anything else? Nope, that's not the budget.
He has to hit the asshole cop who's like, you could have handled it different.
Yeah, you could have talked it out to him. Come on, Cobra.
Did you try talking to him this time?
Did you try rubbing his balls, while you're, rubbing his shoulders at the same time?
Did you ask him about his feelings? Why is he doing this?
It was, it's probably his parents that put him to this.
Dude, I love how there's just a random Harley that's just like ready to go for them to get on. Like basically running. Just,
Yeah, just don't have to start it. Probably it's just some other cop that showed up there like on his day off.
Yeah, just steals his motorcycle, like, get on, bitch.
Yeah, don't worry about me. I got my own ride.
I'm taking you out for some pizza right now.
How do you like it cut down the center?
Yeah. We ain't using no pizza slicer either.
Yeah. I think Stallone should have fought the dude with the scissors. Now that I think about it, the scissors should have...
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, where was his knife? Where was his random jacket knife during this, like, intense battle?
I guess he lost the jacket, though.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. He already used it once. He couldn't use that knife again.
No, yeah, he got to throw out of the way, but what's an
Go for it.
Oh, I was just gonna say, just speaking of that I've seen that beginning scene. I think Stallone wrote that scene because I think it's different in the script. I think initially, instead of a supermarket, it was supposed to be a movie theater that was happening in, which actually is pretty. I think both settings.
That's a bold choice.
But I think almost like the idea that like it actually works more in a horror sense, that you're inside a movie theater watching this movie and then you see this hostage situation take place. I think that's probably pretty. I could see also Warner Bros. Being like, "Wow, God, you know what? We don't want anybody leaving the cinema, asking for a refund 10 minutes into the movie."
I thought about that, especially after, was it the Dark Knight Aurora, Colorado shooter?
Yeah, that one pretty much ruined that scene from appearing anytime soon.
Right, dude. Because I thought about that, like how gangster that would be. Like, as an audience member sitting in the movie theater and then violence takes place in the movie theater. But I was thinking more of like a horror movie. Like, like a slasher style group of high school kids being chased by a killer style. Like, oh, I'll be safe in the movie theater. Billy Joe just got fucking stabbed to death, but I can't get got in this movie theater. And then it happens. Yeah, well, I always thought that would be really cool for like that version of like a horror, like a teen horror movie.
Mm-hmm. No, I could see that there. But yeah, no, I thought that was an interesting way for that to open up, though.
Right. Supermarket's a good choice, dude. Also, the psycho in me was like, man, that would be so fun to just shoot up fucking random parts of a supermarket with a shotgun, like shoot the meat section, just watch it all explode.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that sounds fucking cool, dude. Shoot the fucking like where all the milk is and like the big old glass cabinets. I'm not gonna do that, FBI. Don't come get me. I just thought it looked cool.
It is well. That's the thing. I think that's why those scenes kind of work well. That's like why from Dusk Till Dawn, like why that the shootout at the very beginning of the movie there is kind of cool.
Right.
You watch all like the stuff inside the, the little.
Dude, that's why Western bar like tavern fights and like shootouts are cool when all the shit's exploding, all the whiskey bottles are blowing up. That shit's awesome.
Well, because that's what you want in a shootout. The more stuff that you can see blowing up around you, like the better.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah, 1,000,000%.
So that's why I almost felt like in that supermarket scene there could have been more shooting in that scene and have it get kind of
right.
Start have it. I think it should have got like a little bit more like that guy should have got a little bit more trigger happy. You know what I mean?
Right. Dude, you know who does like a convenience store just destroy the place scene like so good? Is I think it's Above the Law or Hard to Kill. I can't remember which one, where Seagal's just destroying the convenience store by throwing the dude through the windows and into like racks of chips.
I do remember that scene. As I said, I can't remember exactly which one that is, but they're both about the same time. So
he smashes the dude's face into like the ice cream cabinet thing. Bro,
dude, that's
so fun.
Yeah.
So fun.
That's in that's that glorious like 5-year period of Steven Seagal where his movies are like firing on all cylinders.
Right. Firing all cylinders. When Steven Seagal stops running like super gay, and in a movie is when the movies start to go down.
Yeah, well, they pretty much peter out at about 95. Like I don't know, I think that's like the end of it. Like I almost want to feel one of the last really really good ones is Under Siege 2.
Under Siege 2. Was Fire Down Below before or after Under Siege 2?
I think that's actually 96. That might be the last one. Because I want to say like...
Because that one's okay.
Okay, maybe that might be the one where they start to kind of go downhill. Is about... I want to say it's after about 95 or so. Like about even like the ones that are like in 97, 98. It's even same with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Even his movies kind of like... It's like they stopped giving those guys money by about the late 90s.
Right. Yeah. Well, they kind of
they realized that Nicolas Cage is a better like action star for sales and tickets than these guys.
Right.
Which when you say that like out loud, it sounds those guys who like well, we'd rather just have Nicolas Cage instead of you two that have been training your entire life to do this.
Well, and then you had like a complete total shift like with the Jackie Chan American movies like Shanghai Noon, Rush Hour
7. Yeah,
dude once you got that flavor of martial arts action, because I mean it works so well for an American audience. There's plenty of action, plenty of stunts. He brings that Chinese cinema to us plebeians over here in America, and just does it so well with the comic elements involved. Like, what's a Seagal gonna do? Is he gonna do another bullshit Aikido move and sit there and like he's constantly getting fatter and fatter every fucking year in every movie he's in?
He's just slowly. No, that's actually true. I didn't think about that, but that probably was it. The Jackie Chan was probably the thing that kind of like killed Steven Seagal and Jean-Claude Van Damme and didn't kill it, but like they just from being up at the top pulled them kind of down to C-list movies instead. Yeah. Right.
And another one, like you have Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, when that bitch came out, that like fucked up everything.
Yeah, people went crazy over that. Ironically, it's whenever there's like those martial arts movies in the U.S. that seem to get like a lot of awards and praise, I always kind of go like, it's kind of okay. Like I've never been able to really get into Crouching Tiger. I've tried watching it.
Yeah, me neither.
And I'm like, it's kind of a crappy kung fu movie. You know what I mean? It's like, but for some reason, that's the one that gets all the awards. And there's been like hundreds of them before that. That's like, where were you guys watching this movie for the Academy? You know what I mean? Like, we've been doing this shit since like the 40s. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, and then the other flavor that you would get would be like the sci-fi element ones.
Yeah.
Like you'd get those as well for like action films. So it's like it kind of just like ruined it for those one trick ponies like Seagal and fucking Jean-Claude Van Damme. Also, they Let's be honest, they weren't that fucking good. All the people that sit there and stroke Bloodsport's dick, I'm like, dude, Bloodsport's really not that great of a movie. Like it's classic,
Yeah,
but it's really
like
not
it.
that great.
I like it, and I don't know. I like those Jean-Claude Van Damme ones, but I feel like I know what I'm getting when I'm going into those. You know what I mean? You wouldn't compare it to like a Hong Kong martial arts movie.
Dude, just anything by Jet Li,
Yeah,
is like we'll blow it out of the water.
yeah.
It's just no competition in my opinion. But whatever,
Yeah,
I'm an asshole.
But yeah, there's just a time and a place for each one of those ones. But yeah, they all kind of peter out though at about that 97 mark. But not Stallone. Stallone doesn't. He still keeps going strong and so on like that.
Right.
Well,
he's done so many different types of films, dude. Like I watched Over the Top not that long ago. That's such a fucking fun movie. I love that movie.
Even though it's got that shitty kid in it, like he does come around eventually.
Right.
But like,
right.
And I know that's kind of part of the story is that like it's like, he's trying to relate to his like dumb like rich kid son, and then takes forever, but they finally do.
Dude, I fucking love that movie. It's such a good like family flick. I tried to watch it with my kids, and my kids were just like, "This is fucking stupid, though."
Guess what? I signed you up for arm wrestling. So.
We're watching it. Why is he working out in his truck? What is he doing? Just like, shut up.
Yeah,
so it's fucking cool.
I mean, that's the one thing I'll give Stallone though is Stallone, even if he like maybe doesn't always like hit all the marks for stuff, he tries a variety of like roles and genres, like way more than like
right.
See where Arnold kind of always plays it safe. I will say that like Arnold chooses what's going to work best for him. Stallone will try stuff that's very almost like experimental and ballsy, and sometimes it doesn't work at all. But like
right.
you almost got to give him credit that he takes on all these different roles.
Yeah, Arnold. It's like there's very few. Like I can think of Maggie as his most recent one, where it's like, damn, that's a weird movie for Arnold, but it was really good.
Yeah.
And then Kindergarten Cop is like another one, but he's always been hilarious. Arnold's like naturally funny.
Yeah, I know that's the one that like Twins and Kindergarten Cop and Junior.
Yeah.
I know at first that felt like I think that was shocking to probably non-Arnold fans, but I feel like anybody who probably watched Arnold movies before, it's like, what, you never saw Commando or Running Man? Like he's always been funny. Like
oh, he's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. So I felt like it's like one of those ones, like, I feel like anybody watching the action movies would have saw that coming. I feel it's the people that probably didn't watch it that just kind of just thought like, oh, Commando's just a movie where they shoot people up, right? Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah, no, you're right.
This, Twins movie with Danny DeVito, the guy from
They went from... Yeah. If you went from like the only Arnold movies you saw were like the Conan films, and then you go to Kindergarten Cop, yeah, maybe you would be confused.
Yeah, that's gonna be because that one's pretty darn. That's probably Arnold's serious or more serious movie. He still has some funny parts in that one, but
yeah,
I think they're more.
He also can barely speak English, so I mean that also helped with the seriousness.
Yeah,
but dude, it's like, have you never seen Last Action Hero? That's a comedy movie.
Yeah, but that's past Twins and Kindergarten Cop and all that.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah, so
bad.
There's that one there and so on. But but where Stallone's tried all kinds of stuff. He'll be in dramas. He'll be in comedies.
Yeah.
He'll be even of course action movies. But he'll try other things too. He'll try weird roles like that Rhinestone Cowboy with Dolly Parton and so on.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
no, I have so much respect for Stallone. I fucking love that dude.
Yeah, and the fact that he writes, directs, acts, produces, he pops up in all kinds of things.
Well, dude, and like you look at like a perfect example of you were talking about Stallone's diva era, aka the cocaine era of Stallone. But then you look at like his like later works, like the Expendables films. Like he brings everybody up in that fucking movie. Like,
yeah,
it's I don't know. I fucking love Stallone, dude. I love what he does.
Exactly. Well, that's perfect example. Is like the Expendables one is No other actor was doing that where they were trying to get all those guys involved. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you know, I hate to sort of say it, but I didn't see Bruce Willis doing that. I didn't see Arnold Schwarzenegger even doing that. Like, Stallone was the guy that kind of wrangled everybody together.
Right. Right. And like built something beautiful.
Yeah, and built.
And kind of even like rejuvenated some people's careers. Like I think Jason Statham really benefited off that first Expendables movie.
I think so, because I think that actually brought him from being kind of like a cool because he was kind of like an alternative action hero before the Expendables. I felt like,
Right.
in a sense, he was kind of he was like if you're watching Dolph Lundgren movies or something like that. You kind of like had to be kind of deep into the know of the action movies, and I felt like then it's like there he is there, and he's kind of like the second guy in command, and I felt like it kind of introduced him to a wider audience, and I think that's why Jason Statham's career. It's why he stars in a new movie like every year at least, if not twice a year.
Right. And then like it is like a Stallone style film. Like he like took that mantle and ran with it. Like the Beekeeper, fucking was it Homefront?
Yeah, Homefront was
What
one
was
of them. And then there was
What was the last one you just told me to watch? Fuck.
the last one was a Stallone written movie.
Working Man.
Yeah, Working Man.
Yeah, dude. He's like, okay, Big Sly, like I'm gonna continue your fucking weird action shit going.
Yeah, because that pretty much
Were
that
we-
movie, in a weird way, if you think about Working Man, was almost like a Sylvester Stallone movie that he would have wrote for himself, but since he was old,
100%.
he did the thing where he's like, you know what, you can play in a sense me in this movie.
Right, 100%. When you told me that it was written by Stallone, I was like, oh, this explains everything about this movie.
Makes total sense now. Yeah, so. And then I also feel even with Expendables, it's like Dolph Lundgren. I felt like even though that guy still was always doing a copious amount of movies, his movies were always Swedish movies and Eastern European movies and so on like that. So that kind of brought him back into American movies, was with the Expendables, And then he even gave other characters like Stone Cold Steve Austin. He got to be in there, and even
Randy Couture got to have like a big role. Terry Crews got a lot of love.
Well, he got a good action role, which is like, because that's the thing about Terry Crews.
Right.
He's in the majority comedy, but like he's really good at his action as well.
Right. Yeah, he was phenomenal. I think Jet Li got some juice from it.
Yep, exactly. I think that all kind of worked out well, and so on, as with everybody else. So yeah, Stallone's still and he's still out there kind of killing it with even just doing the writing and producing. Who knows how many more movies he'll be in, but.
Have you watched any episodes of like King of Tulsa?
Yeah, I saw the first season of that one.
Yeah, I watched a few episodes. I don't have fucking time to like invest into that show, but
yeah,
I was like, this is fantastic.
It's still fun. It's got goofy elements in it. Like the main villains, I feel are kind of like that. They're like this biker gang, but like I don't know if it's the acting or the writing, but they just feel like I don't know how these guys are threatening one bit. Like they're such goofy biker kind of guys, and so on. But Stallone himself, it's one of those ones where he's fantastic in it. And
it's so good.
The people that he has around him are not that bad either, because that's sometimes the one thing that can kind of make a show kind of weird. Is like Arnold Schwarzenegger, like Fubar show. And I know it got a second season, but like it was one of those weird ones where it's like, okay, Arnold's really good, but everybody else around him is kind of like cringy and okay, and like,
right.
And I know. I get when you get older, what you do is you make an ensemble thing. I mean, that's literally what the Expendables was. So you don't have to carry the whole movie or show yourself. But sometimes that's the only downfall of that is like kind of like, well, I just find a way that you can do more talking scenes. I don't care, but like that, we don't need to see these other characters, for certain ones.
Right. Did you watch I think it's called Heads of State with John Cena and Idris Elba?
No, but that sounds interesting.
Okay, yeah, I think it was like an Amazon release, but I was gonna say, I think because since we're talking about Jason Statham, kind of taking that Stallone style action movie, and he's just like continuing that on, because I do feel like The Beekeeper's kind of like that as well. It's got the juice of like a Statham movie, but still, it's like it reminds me of Stallone in many ways.
You could see 100% Stallone playing that character. It'd be a little bit different, but it would still fit.
Right. It just makes sense. But I feel like Cena kind of is like the opposite end, where it's kind of like the comedic Arnold style of action. You know, you have Peacemaker. Uh, you have the Heads of State movies, like a perfect example of it. He's not as badass in it. He's more of the comedic role, and Idris Elba's more of the badass in the film. But still, kind of works. It's kind of the
Yeah.
same thing. But just almost anything Cena's in when it's like an action film, it really gives me, and it's probably why I fucking love his movie so much. It gives me the same feeling I get when I watch an Arnold movie. There's great action. You know, you get to see athleticism on screen. Uh, you get to see a fucking action body, you know, and you know, you made a joke about Nicolas Cage, like he's a better action star than these other guys. But the one thing that always bothered me about that is like he doesn't have the action body. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I miss that. It's a kind of a gay thing to say, but you know, I want to see a fucking jack dude just
Yeah.
wreaking havoc.
That's exactly.
And you get that with Cena.
Yeah, you do. Well, because that was always the way I always feel like even like The Rock was, especially like in his earlier movies.
Right.
Is he carry? Because I remember even back in like the early 2000s, I was like, well, he almost kind of like, especially when Arnold was going into Governor and everything like that. It was like, well, The Rock kind of carries that like at least Arnold kind
Right,
of vibe
dude.
and so on.
The
Especially
rundown,
the rundown,
walking tall.
Walking Tall, also
The one where his kids like,
Faster.
yes, yes,
You know, because all those ones kind of, I mean, even in the rundown, literally Arnold even gives him, he like passes him the torch in that movie
right,
with that little cameo.
right. No, it's yeah, yeah. I don't know. The Rock now. I'm excited for the Smashing Machine. That'll be exciting to watch. But I don't know. We're getting we're at a good time for movies. It's very awesome. Like
As especially action movies. I think action movies have
yes,
been like this whole year. It's like if realistically, if I looked at my list, it's majority of them is just like a ton of action movies on there that have been like really solid. Like I've been very
right,
impressed, you know, and it's almost gonna be one of those ones where I feel like that's gonna probably fill up like the majority of my top 10 for sure will be action movies.
right, right. I can't remember everything that came out, so I'm glad you wrote it down.
I do that because I will forget, you know, especially at the end. But like even just I'll just say real quickly is Nobody 2 just came out like last
Oh
week
fuck yeah.
and it was once again totally badass, great action in it, everything like that. You know, had some funny scenes in there and just cool set pieces, and that's all you need sometimes.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that as soon as possible.
Yeah, it was a good one. It's one of those ones that sound weird. Like that movie was so good, but I was like, yeah, this movie's great, but like I'm at the point now. I was like, I'm gonna have to be like chopping my top 10 list around and seeing what fits in there. It's like one of those ones. It's gonna be one of those years where there's gonna be way more movies, unlike the last handful of years where you'd be like, well,
Right.
there happens to be an open slot, so by all means, this movie goes in here. Would it have been on there any other year? Probably not, but there was a space.
Right. Right. 100%. 100%.
But yeah, but Cobra, no matter what, I still think that's a cool movie. I still think it's
cool.
definitely very unique and got a lot of its own flair.
Yeah.
You know, it's a mixture of like there's cool and great action in it, very neat like cinematography combined with editing, and even the soundtrack. Even though it's got like a strange kind of like it reminds me once again like what an older guy like because once again Stallone's like probably in his 40s in this movie, like what he would think was really badass sounding music in like 86 and stuff, which is like it kind of seems like it's so strange, but like it still kind of works because it's kind of almost partially similar to like Rocky 4's soundtrack, which Rocky 4 has an amazing soundtrack, you know.
Right.
But it's still got some goofy stuff in here. Apparently, this is another funny thing: is that song "The Touch" that's in Transformers '86 was initially supposed to be used in Cobra,
Oh, really?
which I feel like that would have been it would have been interesting in this movie for the fact of how almost how dark Cobra is comparatively for a song like that.
Right. Dude, it's very 80s. So if you like 80s action, Cobra's worth watching mainly so you could go back and read and just like, you know, watch a YouTube video about the Arnold Stallone competition. And that's like where this movie like really shines, and that story, especially if you've seen all their action films from that decade,
Yeah.
because it does have a place in there.
No, it definitely does, and it almost is about as 80s action as you can get, but not the movie that's going to necessarily get the credit. But for the fact that I was thinking about, I was like, it actually outbeats a lot. Once again, like the Christmas thing, that's in this movie way before it's in any of the other movies. That kind of
Right.
That.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't think about that either too. But it's like, oh, there's actually there's Christmas stuff the whole way through this movie, and so on like that, and they're mentioning and so on, So just like Die Hard, just like Lethal Weapon, and even other ones. So you have that element, and just the macho-ness of this action hero, the one lone gunman type police officer who's kind of like a Dirty Harry in a sense. That kind of starts there. It starts with Bullet. Bullet with Steve McQueen's like the original like renegade cop type thing. But yeah, no, there's just a lot to be had, and I feel like just like really, if anything, it's just watching it for like the cinematic value of it. It's like an art piece film.
Right. Right. I wouldn't go that far, but
well, and what I mean by that is just the way it's shot and the color scheme.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not necessarily. Like, I know most people are like, what are you talking about? That like I don't think it's like an artsy film, but like I feel like cinematography wise and just like the look, it's like wow, it's super dialed in. It's kind of like I remember like there's like that Vanilla Ice movie, and I remember watching that movie and going, holy shit, this movie shot fucking good. Like you wouldn't be like, well, I'm watching a Vanilla Ice movie. I thought it was gonna be like a like a Pauly Shore kind of comedy. It's like, dude, they got like the best like cinematographers to come join. I think it was somebody who was like a cinematographer for either Steven Spielberg and or I was gonna say what's his name from fucking True Lies. Just drew a blank all of a sudden. It's late at night. Aliens, Terminator, Titanic, James Cameron. There we go.
James Cameron. Okay.
But I want to say the dude who did the Vanilla Ice movie was like cinematographer on that because it's like shot extremely good.
Yeah. Hey, somebody. You got to make a paycheck, right?
Yeah, exactly. Somewhere along the line, but no.
Cinematographers probably don't get paid that much money. They're like, yo, I got to work.
Yeah, gotta make a name for myself here, So, yeah, no. This one is it's still just a cool movie. Like at the end of the day, that's what it is. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. Is it the best of Stallone? Probably not, but maybe in the top 10. It's still definitely a neat movie all around though, and it's unique. I think
you're gonna be entertained. You're gonna be entertained. There's awesome action. There's comedy in it. Sometimes, non-intentional comedy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, whatever. You take what you could get. You got Stallone. He's fucking great in it. He's always good. It's got a great bad guy.
Yeah, the bad guy's super good. All
right. So,
characters are great. Yeah, it's just...
It checks all the boxes. It's just a little weird. That's its only problem.
It's got some goofs, and I think that's like the only thing that keeps it from being maybe like perfect, But some of the goofs actually work out in the favor that makes it more entertaining. Just like when like the Chicano,
oh yeah,
he just bullies his way through that. No problem.
Dude, he literally, and it became a trend. It's a trend online of like, hey, I need a towel, and you like, the dude will just rip someone's shirt or like rip their jeans. And just rip a giant like shred off of it. Well, Stallone started that trend.
It just rips this
for some reason.
Yeah, so go figure. But yeah.
Fuck your shirt, buddy.
Yeah, yeah. And next time you know where to your place to park.
Right.
I just love that there's like 5 people in that car. Like they easily could have jumped him no matter what, but
nobody did anything. Nobody did a thing.
And in fact, they listen to the rules. But they're almost like a cop's best friend. Be like, yeah, I told them once, and look at now they're literally like, they do anything for me.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's a cool one. I'm glad we kind of went and rewatched this one again. As I said, I feel like I enjoy it a little bit more each time I watch it. Maybe because I understand it a little bit more. Understanding might not be the right word, but I feel
You pick up new things.
I pick up new things, and I get kind of where it's going more each time, and not from like what I initially expected back in the day. But yeah, check that bad boy out. But beyond all that, you can always listen to all the other Old Man Orange podcasts on Spotify and YouTube. Till then, I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
And Josh.
And we'll see you some other time.
Later.